This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Hi there, everyone. This is your host, Phil, and welcome back to the show. Our next guest here today is Andrea Kennington, who's based out of Tampa, Florida, with her business called Bloomed Within. How are you doing today, Andrea?
Doing pretty decent. I'm excited. I'm honored that you all somehow or another found me and reached out to me. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, and you're very welcome. So tell us a little bit more about Bloomed Within and what you're offering here to people.
So Bloomed Within is, I will describe it at this point as a boutique practice that provides different modalities of care to folks that have had some traumatic experiences. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, a micro clinician who has had my own trying experiences, and I have stood this practice up as a result of that. So we provide talk therapy, there's group therapy, there's also ketamine assisted psychotherapy. I am in the process of onboarding a nurse practitioner to provide medication management to adolescents, and am also hoping to incorporate transcranial magnetic stimulation as well as plant-based medicine care.
Okay, so how long have you been doing Bloomed Within for?
So Bloomed Within has been official since 2020, I will say. Bloomed Within, specifically with the location in Florida, has been in practice since February of 2024. However, I have been educating folks as it relates to resilience and healing from the things that harm us since for at least over the past 25 years. I used to go by the moniker of Art of Pain.
Okay. So what initially kind of led you towards your whole career path here? What got you started with everything?
Great question. Okay, so I will describe myself as a bit of an odd bird. I've known what I wanted to do since I was 9 years old. So since I was 9 years old, I've known that I wanted to go into the military and I wanted to be a school teacher. In 1996, I was very serious about my education, and I began my undergrad studies in elementary education and special education. Having completed those studies in 1999, I began working as a special education teacher. I taught all grades, K through 12, at some point. Working with those amazing, I call them little humans, first off, I worked in Title I schools. So I worked with kids who their school had predominantly, I think 80 or more % were on free and reduced lunch, right? So these children who needed additional assistance also came with their own challenges. There might be food poverty. Some children that I worked with actually were born addicted to either alcohol or substances or both. And I felt a little silly and as if I weren't necessarily seeing all of them by wanting to just teach them based on the curriculum that was provided. I felt like I needed to know more about the brain so that I could better assist these kids. And so one of the things that I learned in undergrad, which I carry with me to this very day, is all behaviors are learned. So working with students who may not have verbal communication, I worked with some students who weren't mobile, and they were just amazing, right? I worked with some students who had all of those things, and they also sometimes had probation officers or pretrial officers. So that is actually what catapulted me to say I should go back to school and get a master's in social work so that I can be of better service to these kids that I provide care to. And after obtaining my master's in social work, I did go back into the schools. I taught one more time, a self-contained class, and I have worked in an administrative capacity since that point. So that is what causes Blooms Within to even be in existence, is knowing from the most precious of us, which are adolescents, children, is that all behavior is learned and we all can learn. And so it's about getting the information and presenting the information in a way that folks can receive it and utilize it for themselves.
Well said. Well, Andrea,
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and it's been a pleasure to have you on the show today. Before we let you go, how do we reach out to you or work with you here?
Okay, so I have a webpage. It is www.bohotherapist.com. You can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. My business number is, am I allowed to give that out?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, so my business number is 352-670-9954. And I'm available to do trainings, and I'm also available to provide individual care.
Okay. Well, Andrea, thank you again for joining us. It was a pleasure chatting with you here today.
Thank you, Phil. Have an amazing day.
You too. Take care. The rest of our listeners, stay right here. We'll be right back after this short break.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.